What up, y'all? Coach Vass here. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new to them, appreciate you tuning in, listen to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, support me with information is in the description. Should be $5 for some coffee. Other than that, let's dive into it. We're gonna go over Wednesday, January 8th. This will also repeat on Saturday, the 25th. We're going to see power on the treads, strength on the rower, endurance on the weight floor, talk about the key concepts, break down each section, talk about the 3G, and then get you on out of here. So as far as key concepts go, for the treads, we're going to see 4 power blocks. Aim to increase your all out as you move through the blocks. The first 3 blocks build intensity, and then on block 4 is all about the all out. On the rower, each time you are on the rower, it's a 20-stroke build. Start in a push, end in an all out, and see how much distance you could cover. For the floor, we have 2 blocks with 2 pairs of work and active recovery. So set yourself up for success so that you can move right from the dumbbell exercise to the strap with no downtime. Okay. So when we look at the treadmills, as mentioned, there's going to be 4 total blocks. Between each block, you do have a 90-second recovery. Blocks 1, 2, and 3 are going to follow a very similar format. So we're going to have a build, a walk recovery, and then a repeat build. Okay. Overall goal is to establish the all out in the first build and then maintain in the second build. So can they do the same thing twice? When we move to the next block, aim to increase the intensity of the all out. So their push could probably stay the same if they choose to do so. As a challenge, they could increase their push as long as they could also still increase their all out. And now the builds themselves, they'll start at base, they'll hit a push, then they'll go into their all out. Block 1. 30-second base, 30-second push, 1 minute all out, 1 minute walk recovery. And then it's the same build, 30, 30, 1 minute. When we move into block 2, base and push stay at 30 seconds still, but now the all out is 45 and they have a 75-second walk recovery. So we take 15 seconds away from the all out, but we add that to the walk recovery. And then the third block, 30, 30, 30, 90-second walk, and then repeat that 90-second build. So when we look at the first 3 blocks, because of that similar format, great opportunity for that base to push to all out is going to be that gradual increase in effort. So they start at their base. For that 30-second push, it does say power walkers 8% or greater. Joggers, runners, of course, you could put them somewhere between 1 to 2. Knowing it's only 30 seconds, 1.5 is a great place to kind of be. So that way they could go from that base, increase, and then go even more for the all out. Bikes and striders, they'll start at base gear, hit 3, hit 6 above. For that walk recovery, hopefully they need that full minute to recover, and then they'll repeat. When we go into the next block, add 0.1 or more to their all outs. Power walkers, they could go 0.5%. They could increase their walk speed. Bikes and striders, of course, all about the output. So higher wattage by increasing RPM with the same gear, maintain RPM with a higher gear, or increase RPM and increase gear. Okay. That's the process for those 3 blocks set up that way. The 4th block is a bonus block, and it's going to start with a 30-second push. It's easy to miss this on the template because it's right above the orange highlighted goal section. So it starts with a 30-second push, leads you into a 1 minute all out, 1 minute walk recovery, then 45 all out, 1 minute walk recovery, 30-second all out, and then they're done. So this is an opportunity for people to kind of reflect back to their all outs from block 1, 2, and 3, and can they use those same ones or potentially do better than what they did before? Because still the goal is to increase the all out intensity. So if they repeat what they did, so for the 1 minute all out, they do what they did in block 1. They do the 45 all out from block 2. That should have been a jump up anyways from block 1, and then 30 from block 3. When we look at the rower and the weight floor, both blocks are going to be set up very similar. You're going to have 2 different work and active recoveries for 2 rounds. Then they have 2 rounds of the build on the rower. Then when they're done with that, they go back to just the dumbbell exercises. So block 1, work and active recovery, we're going to see a lot of new movements of combination exercises. We're going to see a goblet, alternating step out to squat to reverse lunge. You're going to do 12 total here, and that's going to be paired up with the strap low plank with alternating knee raise. So for the dumbbell exercise, goblet position. They'll start with their feet close by. They'll step out with one leg, come back, and then that's the leg they'll step back with for the reverse lunge. That'll be 1 rep. Then they step out on the other side, step back, there's 2. Great option for this one. If you have the benches out, they could do a step out squat onto a step up instead of that reverse lunge. The strap low plank to alternating knee raise, we did see this last month. This is where the forearms are gonna be in the cloth part of the strap as they hold that plank and they do the alternating knee drive. Arms are about shoulder width apart, and then they want their feet close so it makes that triangle, so that way as they lift 1 foot up, they still have those anchor points of the arms and they can still keep their balance. They're gonna complete 2 rounds of this. As soon as they're done, they go on to a pullover with alternating leg extension. Also, new movement, but it's gonna be familiar components. So for this exercise, they're gonna be on the floor. They're gonna start essentially like in the dead bug position. So reverse tabletop, they're on their back, arms are extended up, but they're holding a dumbbell, and then knees are bent 90 degrees, ankles and knees are the same height. As they do the pullover, one leg is gonna extend out, keeping the lower back glued down, and then as they bring the weight up, they bring the knee back in. Then when they go to the next pullover, the other leg. So 12 pullovers, but it's 6 leg extensions per side as they alternate. Then that's gonna be paired up with the wall slide. Now for the wall slide, they're gonna face towards the anchor point, and then they're gonna have the back of the hands in the cloth strap of the strap. And what I like to do is have them start in this position. And what we are doing is we're pulling one elbow down and then extending the arm up. And what we wanna see is them to continually expand back, so they're getting a lot of scap retraction and recruitment through the upper back. If they do it right, it should feel a lot of upper back, back of the shoulder burn. 12 total as they alternate, okay? And then once they've done 2 rounds, they go to the row. It's a 20 stroke build. First 10 is a push, next 10 is an all out. With this being a strength focus, it doesn't say on there, but as always, I mention, try to keep that stroke rate on the lower end, about 20 to 24. Ideally, people are not really gaming the system and they're at like 8 strokes per minute, but 20 to 24, keep that rhythm. We should see an increase of leg drive. So every stroke for the first 10 kind of builds that intensity so they can maintain that uncomfortable feeling. And then gradually leg drive increases for that all out. So that way their split time decreases, their wattage goes up. Okay, once they finish their 20 strokes, rack their handle, rest, see how far they got. When the water settles, that's what I would use to kind of gauge as like, hey, you did that, can you match or beat that? They'll clear out the screen, do that build again. Then they hit the floor, they just do the floor. Block 2 is gonna be set up the same way, 2 different work and active recoveries for 2 rounds, and then that same build again for 2 rounds, and then back to the dumbbell stuff. So for this block, they're gonna see bicep curl to uppercut. So they'll curl the weight here, uppercut, back down, and that's 1 rep. That pairs into the strap rollout. And then we'll see a dumbbell bridge, and then they sit up with the strap with the hands in. That one, you're gonna face away from the anchor point. Arms are extended as they sit up, they press into the palms, and then they roll all the way back. And then they'll do that 20 stroke build. 2 rounds, and then they go into the dumbbell exercises for their bonus, and then their finisher is either strap movement. So a nice little core burnout for the final 30 seconds. When we look at the 3G, big highlight for this is the whole class demo at the start. So once everyone gets in there, get them all to the weight floor, demonstrate what's going on the weight floor. I would also demonstrate the med ball exercise for the rower if you are doing this. Just that way it's one less thing for you to have to explain later on. Med ball squat to front raise. So now the weight floor section itself, we're gonna see 3 back-to-back work and active recovery sequences. You're gonna see the squat reverse lunge with the plank knee raise for 2 rounds, curl to uppercut, strap rollout for 2 rounds, bridge and sit up for 2 rounds. So they are removing the pullover and the wall slide for the 3G. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. Otherwise, the weight floor is gonna be set up for 14 minutes and 15 seconds, 2 rounds of everything, and then do it as one big block of just the dumbbell stuff, so no straps. Okay. When we look at the treadmills, 3 blocks in the 3G, you have the same builds for 30 base, 30 push, 1 minute all out. the walk recoveries are only 45 seconds. They do not get longer within block to block like they do in the 2G. So that is something that is going to be pretty tough. And that's why maintain the all out or increase each build. Okay. Block between the blocks, there's also only 45 seconds. So if you really wanted to think about it, this could be one long block, since the walk recoveries are pretty quick and there's no get back to base when ready. They do their build, they take a 45 walk, they do the same build again, walk. Now they do a new build, repeat it, then a third build, and then repeat it. So there's no bonus in the 3G, of course, because of time constraints. For the rower, they're gonna see the same idea with the builds, but they're gonna do a 30 stroke, a 20 stroke, and a 10 stroke build. So 15 push, 15 all out, check distance, repeat, then they'll do the med ball squat to front raise. So arms are gonna be down, they'll squat down, stand up, and then raise the med ball up, back down. They have 8 reps of that. 20 stroke build, 10 and 10, and then 2 rounds, squat to front raise, and then 10 stroke, 5 and 5. 2 rounds, squat to front raise. Then they row until the finisher, which is of course nice and simple, 30-second all out. Now for the 3G, also be mindful, there's only 2 minutes to transition the room. So this is why they should come in, get set up with the whole class setup, and then do their 6-minute warm up, and then you are on the clock and you're going for it. So that's gonna be your Wednesday, January 8th, Saturday, January 25th. As always, any feedback, let me know. Otherwise, you guys got this. Coach you down.